This late 90s, early 2000 camera kit is not what you think it is. It's a scam. So let's crack open the case, and there we are. We got ourselves a camera, a strap for the camera, the keys for the case, a tripod, focus leather pouch for the camera itself, and a flash that disassembles the whole case when you try to remove it. So, where's the scam? It's a camera. Well, everything is a scam. Everything in this camera kit is trying to fool you. Let's begin with the camera first. This is the Canomatic Big Royal View. No relation with Canon except, some copyright infringements for the typography. If you look at the camera from afar, it will look like an SLR, but don't get closer or, well, the magic is gone. This is a camera with two viewfinders. In fact, you have this classical viewfinder on the side, just like that, and a viewfinder on the top. This fake prism holds a 45-degree angled mirror, which works like a TLR. In fact, yes, this is basically a TLR. You get a lens for taking up the picture and one for the top viewfinder, which is a pretty cool feature if you ask me. And if I try to remove the viewfinder, you'll see the mirror. The fact that I'm able to disassemble the camera with only my fingers and I'm biting my nails is not reassuring, at least. The lens is a 50mm at an aperture of 4.5. And it's made in Japan. It's mentioned twice. Lens made in Japan, lens made in Japan. The camera is obviously focus-free, just like many cheap cameras from back in the day. And it mentions it to be motor-driven. Well, just listen. Yeah, it's motor-driven. You also get these two buttons mentioning the zoom function. Zoom? Well, they say it's 50. Look at that. What it does, it simply changes the setting from cloudy to sunny and indoors. And if we look at the front of the lens, we'll see the aperture changing when we use these buttons. Well, just look at this picture. I'm holding the camera at arm's length. This is definitely not a 50. It's a 35, and I would even say a little less. So, even with the front barrel extending, this is not a zoom. It's lying to me. Well, at least you get a self-timer, and it works. So, yes, you can take selfies with this. On the top of the camera, you also get this rewind button, which is usually the place of the mode selector, but there's no mode on this camera. You get this frame counter that is very difficult to read, the hot shoe for the flash, and this indicator that shows you that the film is advancing. Some more expensive cameras don't have this feature. It's pretty cool. On the front of the camera, you'll get this. This is usually a red eye reduction or an AF assist beam. This is no AF, and what it does, it blinks. Yeah, it's pretty intense and blinding. Another thing that really struck me when I got this camera in my hands for the first time this morning was the weight. Well, it's weighty and hefty. It looks like it's well made. Well, there's a good reason for that, and we'll see that when I'm gonna disassemble this at the end of this video. Because when you open up the camera bag, what you see is plastic everywhere. It's entirely made out of plastic. Now, by the way, the curvature of the film plane is just there to compensate for the lens. Yes, because it's a lens, but it's just a lens. It's just one piece of glass, so do not expect some Takuma levels of quality. In a way, this camera reminds me of these shoes. Yeah, all PVC plastic shoes with fake stitching to pretend that it might be leather. Well, it's PVC. There's no stitching. It's molded. This camera is just the same. It pretends to be something it's not. But what about image quality? Maybe it's good after all. Maybe it will give us some cool effects. Let's give this a try with 200 ISO film from Kodak, color film, fresh stock. Yes, this is exactly what I was expecting. Image quality is not really good. Even if I was to print these on 4x6 photo paper, I wouldn't get something very good quality. And if you zoom in, yeah, it's pretty much hopeless. So, yeah, this is basically a useless piece of equipment as a camera. But wait, we got a tripod, we got a case, we got a flash. Let's give them a try. The flash is obviously fully manual, no automatic, and well, we get these tables on top of them. I'm gonna take a few pictures. We're at around 3 feet away from the subject, so if I follow the tables, I would need to use an aperture of 22. I'm gonna use an aperture of 16, so I know it's gonna be okay. And oh no, well, underexposed. Well, maybe it's a fluke. Let's try this again. Yeah, it's definitely underexposed. But wait a second, let's look at the table. Okay, this is nonsensical. I mean, they give us the same values for 100 or 200 ISOs. And right here, even the aperture tables on the top of the flash are wrong. I mean, the flash is also useless. But hey, let's have a look at the tripod. Okay, it's a little bit flimsy looking, but let's open it up. I'm gonna speed up the video so you won't get bored, and there it is. Well, it's not really high, and if I pull out the center tube, well, it's not that much higher. It's pretty low profile kind of tripod, but as you can see, it's very wonky. It moves, and it's not very stable. I wouldn't trust this tripod. Just look at that. If you lift it up, it's ridiculous. This tripod is pretty much useless. Maybe for a phone, but for a camera that weighs kind of a lot, I don't think it's gonna be stable. So the camera is useless, the flash is useless, the tripod is useless. What about the case? Well, it's a metal case, right? Well, no, look at that. It's particle board. And even though the frame looks like it's made out of aluminum, the corners are actually made out of plastic. So, not really sturdy. I don't think this case is gonna hold up for constant usage. Something that is redeemable is this. The original batteries. They haven't leaked, even though we were warned on the label. So, I guess the batteries from the Shanghai Miwang battery factory are pretty good quality. Well, that's the only thing that's worth it in this kit. Now let's take this apart and, oh, there's metal. Useless metal. Oh my. It looks like lead. It's poisonous. They literally put lead, a heavy metal with high toxicity, on a camera just to make it look like it was better. It's a total scam. By the way, this is your lens made in Japan, just a piece of plastic. The same you would find on a single-use camera or a promotional camera just like this one. So this is basically the worst camera I've ever reviewed on my channel so far. Do not buy this. The camera is useless, the flash is useless, the tripod is useless, the case is useless. I mean, everything is useless on that. It is a scam, or I mean a joke. Look at that. They even faked the quality control stickers on the bottom of the camera. There's no model number, no nothing. And even the leather pouch they gave you, well, it's too small for the camera. This is a total joke. And that's all I've got for you today, guys. As always, thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. Leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. And, oh, by the way, I'm also on TikTok for shorter videos, so follow me there too. Goodbye.